think this is the new best workstation that everyone in the world, like literally everyone in the world that requires something like this, should get. Welcome to the review of the Dell Precision 3660, the new best workstation for almost everyone. So welcome back everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm finally back, I finally made it, and as you can see here, I brought a really nice piece of computer that I finally got my hands on. I actually bought it, as always, as second hand on eBay here in Germany, and it was an amazing deal. See, this is from the newest generation of Dell Precision Tower Workstation series. It's rocking the newest of CPUs of the 13th generation Intel Core i9. I have an NVIDIA RTX 5500 with 24 gigs of GDDR6X memory. I am using 128 gigs of RAM, literally the best of the best that you can have. This is an amazing gaming computer as well, but my use case are professional use cases, and I just can only recommend this to you. I bought this machine actually a few weeks ago because I wanted to test this in order to deploy it for the engineers at my work, at the company where I work. And I do manage the computers that usually the engineers are actually using, and I really wanted to give it a try because I really believe that these compact machines are going to be the future of almost every company that use professional workstation in order to use their job, to do their job. And I'm really just want to try this. As you know me from my previous videos, I have the latest series of these 3000 series models already as reviewing. For example, the 3650, you are going to see the video right here when I was water cooling it, and I really love this Dell workstation, as you probably already know. So always we're going to start with the exterior design. As you can see here, now actually it changed a little bit in the external design. This new generation of Dell Precision Workstation series, they went from this typical rhomboid shape front to like a diagonal with hexagons in the back in order to push air through, which I think looks pretty cool. But the main thing that you will see from this workstation in comparison to the 3650 from the last year is that this machine got bigger, really bigger. I mean, it is still not the size of the 5820 or the newest generation's 5860, for example, but it got bigger. But I actually think they made a really great decision doing the complete redesign of the chassis to a little bit of a bigger scale, because as you remember from my previous videos, Dell was not really keeping up the cooling system to the performance that they were offering in their machines. So with this new design, now they are really able to push a little bit harder the cooling system that they implement in these machines. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's got bigger, a little bit bigger, like, I don't know, a few centimeters length, width and depth. Like, it's really bigger, but actually it's pretty cool. It's still compact, very compact. It's compact enough that you can put it in your table. As you can see here, for example, if you have it here in comparison, it's not that big. Maybe I can bring it here for you in front of me. So it's still big, but it's really compact. In the front, actually the design didn't change that much. The design, we still have the typical power button from Dell. We have an audio headset combo jack. We have two USB Type A. These are 3.2 speeds with 10 gigabits per second speed. Very good. One of them offers a 20 watt of power delivery. And then you have two USB-C 3.2 as well, one of them offering power delivery with up to 20 watts. After that, you have this pretty famous now on this 3000 series, and actually almost Dell Precision Workstation series, they give you an SD card reader, which is actually a pretty cool thing. Like all of you guys that are recording your cameras, or any other guy that is making photos and they just need to put an SD card in, I think it's a nice, very small thing to have, and it's quite nice. Here on the top, actually now you have still two flex areas which you can pop up with something like removable hard disk or removable NVMe drive. You can still use the DVD read-write combos. In my case, I totally do not require any of those things, since never, and I will of course never spend money in something like that. I can recommend it personally, in my experience, never waste your money in something like that unless you really know that you are going to use that. But yeah, that's the front design. The Dell logo is still here in like a silver chrome metallic, and the design went a little bit better. The sticker, of course, of the Intel CPU that you are rocking is going to be in the here in the bottom. But besides that, pretty slick design, pretty clean design, nothing else to say. Now in the back we have still one audio out port. We have two DisplayPort ports because of course the Intel 13th generation of CPUs, they usually have an integrated GPU, so of course you can output video directly from your CPU, which is also a nice thing. And then you have two USB-C ports. There's a 10 gigabytes per second as well, and then you have two USB Type E 3.2 and two USB 2.0 as well Type A, and your gigabit network. In this case you have no 2.5, or you are still not having 10 gigabits per second, which I think is pretty shame for such a device. But yeah, that's what it is for this kind of entry-level workstations, but they are the most powerful workstation that you can imagine, to be honest. And after that, my configuration, I ordered it with an external antenna, Bluetooth and wireless LAN, because I wanted to have the best performance for my Bluetooth devices, that I use a lot of wireless devices, as you already may know from my previous videos. And I have my NVIDIA Quadro RTX A5500. I got these machines without GPU, and I just put it to my inside. And then I have as well a 10 gigabit network card that I paid extra as well for this. I already had it from years ago, and this is a really nice thing. Guys, don't underestimate the power that you can get out from this machine in the right configuration. I got this machine from eBay with 1000 watts platinum power supply, which is an amazing thing. 1000 watts platinum power supply in a small chassis of the entry-level workstations. I'm just going to tell you, these are the most powerful and probably the best performance, price, features, benefit workstation that you can just buy in the market. It's one of the best that they have, and I just can't recommend this workstation. Amazing. So yeah, these are the features from the back. Of course, you are having here your 120 millimeters fan. In this case, we have something very special. Wait for it when we go to take a look to the inside. There is no more or less. You have here your handle in order to open the side panel, and let's go just take a look to the inside, where I think is where the magic happens for this new redesign of the model. And you have access to the interior panel, which I think here is where the real magic happens, and it's really the most of the nicest thing that I have seen in a workstations in my whole life. This new redesign of the Precision Workstation series. The first thing that you are going to see when you take a look to this is going to be the liquid cooling system. As you remember before in my video of the 3640, I remember you could manage to get like an i9 10 cores pushing up to 5 gigahertz in frequency with the CPU, but there was one problem. There is no way that you can cool down such an amazing CPU with so many cores at such high frequencies when you had such a smaller design chassis that you had with the 3640 and with the 3650. So in that time, I modified myself the chassis and I installed a core-side liquid cooling system because there was no chance to cool down that CPU. And in this iteration of series, they already include a liquid cooling system, which is an amazing thing. In my case, I am using an Intel Core i9 13900K. This is the top of the line, the best of the best CPUs that you can get of this 13th generation, at least for consumer grade CPUs. And I am using now 128 gigs of GDDR5 memory running at 4800 megatransfer per second. I am using my NVIDIA RTX A5500, amazing CPU, one of the best NVIDIA RTX professional GPUs that you can get for all my needs, even for games. But for software like that, I use like SolidWorks, like ATIA, like ANSYS, like Abacus, like MATLAB. This GPU just makes an amazing job, like more than amazing. And one of the nice things as well of this mainboard is that you have 3 NVMe M.2 slots running directly from the mainboard, which I think is an amazing feature, and I really appreciate it a lot because I was already kind of tired of using adapters and PCI Express, and I don't know what so many things and features offers another kind of computers. But I'm using here 2 terabytes NVMe 4.0 running like at 5 gigabytes per second each of these NVMe drives. I have 3 of them. Here's my wireless card as well, from my Wi-Fi. And there's also a really nice thing that I'm really glad that I still take into account. You have 2 quick easy access 3.5 inches bay for hard drives or for dual SSD 2.5 inches, which I think is a pretty cool thing because they are already cable managed. It's just literally plug and play, toolless completely, and they have a direct connection already to the motherboard, which is just a great thing because you don't lose time for anything. And actually there is another one hidden. There is another hard drive spot which is hidden up here if you want to take advantage as well of it. In the front, they manage the cooling system in a very nice way. I think that is probably the best feature of this machine, is how they manage to cool down these components. You have 2 high performance 120 millimeters fans in the front, that they are pushing really hard, bringing all the airflow into the system. They are taking advantage of the hexagon shape internal that they have in the first mesh, and they are taking advantage of the second hexagon shape with the bigger holes that they have in the front of the chassis and in the diagonal bars. They are really pushing through the airflow, which I think is a pretty cool thing. And then you have a 120 millimeters radiator heat with again another fan. This is a high pressure fan, and then of course you have your liquid cooled CPU. Thumbs up for the engineers by Dell that they really came up with this, and they decided to increase actually the usage, the space on the machine, because here at the bottom you have your power supply, and there's plenty of free space for the air to flow, which is a nice thing. And if you remember in the 3640, 3650, 3630 designs, it was everything closed, it was everything just there, and there was no airflow inside. There were just a space for as a 1-slot GPU, and it was not really cool, to be honest. Here everything is still open, and you have all that thing that I just mentioned: 3 terabytes NVMe's, a place for a Wi-Fi card, dual-slot GPU, 2 PCI Express as well that you have here, 1 PCI Express by 4 at the top and 1 PCI Express by 4 at the bottom below my GPU. Probably you cannot see it. And for the liquid cooler, I mean, it's really a cool thing. One thing that I probably don't like, you can see in one video here of Gamer Nexus, is that the motherboard is actually going out of the space. It is not a normal motherboard, it is proprietary from Dell, and it connects to the front ports in the front of the chassis. But let me tell you, it is a great design. And probably, of course, you will say, yeah, but it is from Dell and nothing fits. Believe me, I have been working with Dell Workstations 15 years of my life, since the latest, very latest designs of tower workstations since 15 years. And this is really a change. This really made something about offering you better performance, and the price of this workstation, of course, is very high. If you put it in comparisons against one PC pad picker, or I don't know what kind of website do you use, of course it's going to be expensive, but you are paying for incredible quality, incredible performance, and you are not losing anything in this machine. It's just an amazing machine. Everything works perfect, everything is toolless. you have a lot of place even to expand this with more SATA devices, with more devices connected to the motherboard, with the expansion cards here in the top. I have, also, for example, my 10 gigabit network card, my wireless card antenna as well down there. It's a great machine. Let me tell you, it's a great machine, and they really made an amazing job. And probably you can notice in the way I'm talking, I'm really excited about this computer because they really are pushing again the boundaries of engineering in this machine. So let's go now to talk about for who is actually this machine made, who can really benefit about these small form factor workstations. Actually, who is the target, or for whom is really targeted this workstation? Because a lot of you guys are already, for example, when you see this kind of videos talking really bad about Dell and their pre-built computers, you really tend to believe all these things that they speak about. And maybe for those Alienware machines that are pre-built, super expensive, and they offer maybe not the best performance price ratio against normal components, commercial components that you can buy with the cheapest quality on eBay or something like that. When you talk about Dell Precision workstations, again, you are talking about top quality, top certifications, that every software that you put in there that is certified from Dell, and all these brands and manufacturers or software developers, these computers are going to give you the best quality. It's not about playing Tomb Raider or playing CSGO or playing Call of Duty with max settings and paying 3,000 euros for something that was maybe going to cost like 1,000 euros on the used market. For these machines, you are paying for top quality, performance, reliability, rentability with the years. It's just going to be a kind of different target market. And a lot of you guys already know that these Dell Precision workstations, they are more targeted to enterprises, to companies, to corporations, to startups, to engineers, offices, that they kind of take advantage of buying by bulk, by Dell. But it's not really that true. I'm not a company. I am a private person that use my own money, of my own hand, not sponsored from anyone, in order to get these devices, and I always get my hands on them in a very cheap prices. I almost never buy directly from Dell, but at the end I am really using their products and I love using their products. So I really know from first hand that these products are really made for everyone, that they require something like this. My idea of this is that I bought this machine a few weeks ago. I want to test it personally for my PhD, for my research, for my simulations, for my 3D modeling, for rendering, for this video edition. For example, this video is going to be totally edited in this machine. I just want to test it by myself, the cooling system, if they are silent, if they are too loud at 100% load, 24/7 working, and I just want to test a lot of features with this remote workstation capabilities, with Windows Remote Desktop and GPU acceleration, remote desktop. I just want to try a lot of things personally with this machine. I wanted to do things with SolidWorks, like really heavy modeling with SolidWorks, really heavy simulations with abacus analysis, in order to really put at work this machine. Because at my job as an IT specialist in a company here in Germany, we're a manufacturing company, we produce e-bikes. Our engineers, they as well rely on Dell products, and I wanted to test by first hand what kind of products are we going to buy for them in the next generation, because now we are starting to replacing some computers, or maybe some of the older Dell workstations are not making it now for the new tasks that they are having. And I really want to give the engineers, because I'm an engineer as well, I want to give them the best tools that they can have in order just to have no worries about what they are doing. And I'm just really amazed of this computer. It's a small computer, it fits perfect down my table, here my desktop. It is totally silent, completely silent because of the liquid cooler. Under load, of course, get a little bit louder, but not at all really, like totally manageable, It has a very nice design. Even my girlfriends like it a lot, because she doesn't like when I have ugly computers here in the living room. And I just like it a lot. The performance is amazing. The price, this is the best thing, the price. I paid for this machine with an i9 3900K, 64 gigabytes of RAM, an NVIDIA Quadro T400 professional GPU, the power supply of 1000 watts, and without Wi-Fi card, without 10 gigabit network card, and without NVMe's, just pure as it was, I paid 799 euros. I bought it on eBay. It was used condition, but it is like a top condition. There is no usage, there is no use that you can see on the machines, and I paid 799 euros. Amazing. I did not pay all the money that all other YouTube channels talk about pre-built OEM's computer. Like, no guy, like, just get it used. I mean, I still have the Dell Pro Support Plus, because this machine was coming with Dell Pro Support Plus, and even if you don't have it, you can buy it pretty cheap separately in any online shop. You can just buy Dell Pro Support Plus, go to the Dell Support website, put your service tag, introduce your code of the Dell Support, and there it is. You have Dell Support, which is an amazing thing. And I paid less than 800 euros for this machine with an i9 3900K, 64 GB of RAM, the small NVIDIA T400 that I just sold for 80 euros. I made even profit. Very basic 256 NVMe gigs SSD. I mean, it's an amazing machine. I'm super happy because I paid nothing, and I always get my machines like that. For the company, it's another history. For the company, we are partners of Dell, and we get, of course, very good prices by Dell. But by Dell, maybe a machine like that with a very nice GPU for the engineers already in the machine, maybe you will pay like 2,500 euros. And that's where the difference starts, and that's where all the people start to complain that Dell is pre-built computers are very expensive. But to be honest, in the company, we paid for quality. We pay for quality, we pay for reliability, and we pay for machines that are going to last years. And in my experience, for example, I have experience working in companies with Dell Workstations, as I just said, 14 years, 15 years. I probably saw only 2 workstations in my whole life that were not properly working, and they were replaced in 1 day, 2 days. Other than that, I just only have experience with Dell Workstations that runs 24/7, 100% load, without being turned off never, because of course people let them always on, yeah? Because they want remote access to them when they are not working in the office or anything. And really, in my life, I have seen so less computers getting broke from Dell Workstations than any other brand of computer that I have worked in my life. So in the company, we pay for reliability, for rentability over the years, and it's just worth it because they have amazing performance. They can be turned on the whole day, every day, the whole year, and they are going to be there, reliable for the people that makes magics behind them. So this is my history with the Dell Workstation. I'm just super happy, as you can notice. Will keep posting videos about this workstation in the upcoming weeks. Just enjoy it, and I cannot recommend to you, if you're a private person, to get something like this new. Probably it's going to be a little bit expensive, unless you really are willing to pay for all these features that I just mentioned. If you are watching this and you are an IT professional, or you are an engineer and you want a new machine that really is reliable for your engineers or for your job, like a video producer, photo editor, and you rely on Windows PCs, I just can recommend this Dell Workstation. Amazing workstations. Again, the Dell Precision 3660 is an amazing device, totally worth it. And if you're watching this video and you're looking for something like that for your company, don't think twice. The Dell Precision 3660 is the best new workstations for everyone.